Hi, this is Reddit Confessions channel. It didn't happen overnight. That's the part no one ever tells you, how slow love dies when it's ignored. Not ripped apart, not betrayed in one single act. Just neglected, forgotten, dried out like a plant no one watered. We hadn't touched in 51 days. Not that I was counting. Okay, I was. No casual brushes. No sleepy goodnight kisses. No shared laughter echoing from the kitchen. Just silence. And scrolling. She spent more time smiling at her phone than she did looking at me. And I let her. Because when you love someone deeply, you make room, sometimes too much, for their distance, hoping it's temporary. I told myself she was stressed. That work was overwhelming. That she'd come back. But the truth is, she never left. I did. A little every day. I remember the exact moment something inside me cracked. It was Tuesday. She came home wearing a new coat, charcoal gray, expensive looking. She used to show me every new thing she bought. Not this time. Her lipstick was darker than usual. I don't know why that mattered, but it did. She walked in, dropped her keys, kicked off her heels, and didn't say a word. Then she opened the fridge, pulled out the wine, and muttered, "Oh, no white left." I stood there, watching, silent. She poured a glass. Her phone buzzed on the counter, and the screen lit up with a message. That laugh. I'm still thinking about it. "You're dangerous." No name. Just a fire emoji. She didn't notice me reading it. She didn't even notice I was still standing there. And that hurt more than the message itself. It wasn't the betrayal that burned. It was the invisibility. That night, I didn't sleep. Not in our bed. Not anywhere. I paced. Not in anger. In grief. I realized I had become the quiet roommate, the background character in my own marriage. And she didn't even know the credits were already rolling. The next morning, she posted a photo of her coffee with the caption, "Growth requires discomfort." I laughed bitterly, because clearly she was growing just fine, without me. But instead of confronting her, I made a choice. I wasn't going to scream. I wasn't going to beg. I was going to vanish, piece by piece, until all that was left was the outline of a man she forgot how to love. I started small. I stopped asking her about her day. I stopped reminding her to rest. I stopped leaving her little notes on the mirror, the ones she used to smile at before she stopped reading them. She noticed. I know she did. One night, she even asked, "Are we okay?" And I smiled, gently, genuinely. "We're just tired," I said. That was the last time she asked. A week later, she told me she was going to a creative retreat, a weekend watercolor workshop at a vineyard 2 hours away. I nodded. I offered to drive her. She declined. "You'd be bored," she said, not meeting my eyes. And that's when I knew. So I followed. I waited 2 hours after she left. Then I took the back roads. She wasn't at a vineyard. She was at a bed and breakfast called the Lark and Fern. Quaint, intimate, romantic. I watched from my car across the road as she got out. Not with art supplies, but with a small suitcase and a gift bag. A man opened the door for her. They kissed before the threshold. It wasn't the kiss of new, it was the kiss of familiar. I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I didn't take photos. Because I didn't need to prove anything to anyone. That night, I went home and made pasta. Ate alone. Watched an old movie we used to love. And made my decision. I wasn't going to confront her. She didn't deserve my rage. She didn't deserve my pain. What she deserved was absence. So I began disappearing. Quietly. Logically. Lovingly. I transferred my paycheck to a new account. I found a sublet, a tiny loft with squeaky floors and no memories. I called movers. Told them not to rush. Then I printed one photo. A picture of her from that same morning. Her face illuminated, laughing as she texted. That smile wasn't for me. I left the photo in a white envelope. No words. No explanation. Slid it under her pillow. Then I left. She didn't call that night. She didn't call the next morning either. But 2 days later, she posted another photo. Her hand on a wine glass. Recalibrating. A word she probably read in a blog about healing. But I wasn't a calibration. I was a human being. 3 weeks passed. Then one day, I received a letter. Handwritten. 3 pages long. It wasn't an apology. Not really. She said she lost track of herself. That she got used to not being seen. That she didn't realize how far she'd drifted. But nowhere in those pages did she say, "I hurt you." Because to her, I wasn't the injured. I was the consequence. Months passed. I began to feel lighter. I started jogging again. Badly. I picked up sketching, something I hadn't done since college. I met people who didn't know her name. And one evening, I walked into a bookstore, and the woman behind the counter smiled and said, "You look like someone who's just starting over." "I am," I replied. We talked for hours. Her name is June. She doesn't text all day. She doesn't vanish in silence. She sees me, and I see her. Last week, I drove past our old house. The blinds were closed. There were 2 wine glasses on the porch table. One of them was mine, a unique set we bought on our 2nd anniversary. She kept one. I kept the other. And I realized, with strange gratitude, that some things break unevenly. But the part I took with me, it still fits. She didn't leave me with a bang. She left me with a fade. So I faded faster and softer. And now I live in color again. Not for revenge. Not for closure. Just because I can.